Hi, a warm welcome to yet another edition of The Big Q. And today we talk capital markets. Joining me on the set is the Executive Director of Capital Markets Authority in Rwanda, or CMA, Mr. Robert Matthew. You're welcome to our studios.
Thank you.
Since the inception of Capital Market Authority in 2011, please give us a brief overview of the performance that has been achieved so far.
Well, we have made quite some progress, because when we started, it was one institution called CMA to put in place initial structures to enable a market to start. And then the other key mandate at the time was for us to propose a legal framework, which we did. And that is why today that institution called CMA was split into two. We ended up having the regulatory aspects of the business moving or remaining with the new institution now called Capital Market Authority as a regulator, and the trading operations side of the business was split off, and that is where the Rwanda Stock Exchange emerged from.
And now we indulge in some of the questions that were sent by our audience on the different social media platforms. Rurangwa Gerald and Chakwera Magi, they ask more or less the same questions, and they want to know, why are local companies still reluctant to list on the stock exchange market or to raise capital through the stock market?
I don't know whether it is reluctance or it is the challenges that prevail, because one is that to access long-term capital, these businesses have got to adopt some minimum, what I would call best standards, defined by the international standards of disclosure, accounting, management structures. However, our businesses are not able to meet some of these minimum standards, because those standards come with cost of compliance. We've addressed this by coming up with a less onerous disclosure requirements.
In layman's language, would those be incentives that would have more local companies or firms on board?
Yes, actually. And one of the biggest incentive for us is that we have been able to bring down the entry barriers for them. That is a starting point. The other one, of course, is, they are the same tax incentives, fiscal incentives we talk about, lower levels of withholding tax on dividend. And still
relatedly, Manishimwe Isaac comes in with another issue. Why do we have more foreign companies dominate our stock exchange market?
The reason why is because when we started our market, the obvious candidates that would come out first are big businesses that can actually afford and be able to meet these high standard disclosures, and this has given our market stability, and it is from there that we expect local companies to follow suit. Of course, this is explained also by the fact that there is an issue of newness, that capital market business is a new business in Rwanda, fairly new compared to other established markets. So we have been working hard to ensure that we provide awareness, we expose these businesses to the market, and eventually we will definitely have more local companies than is the case right now.
Denise Claire, do you think the authority has done enough in promoting public awareness on capital markets? That is something that will probably address one of the things you've just talked about.
Well, we've done public awareness and education to promote the capital market. Every time there is an IPO for shares or bonds, we go to every district, we talk to people, and we use similar forums like courtesy of RBA. And but back to the question.
Yes.
Are we doing enough?
Yes.
We haven't done enough, because I talk to you today, encourage you to first of all just understand and appreciate what the capital market is, what are the products are. Then the next thing is, once you appreciate it, you prepare yourself. It will take you a couple of months or even a year before you actually lock in and start saving continuously through the capital market.
And that brings me also to Motesi Goreti's question. What needs to be done for Rwanda to achieve a vibrant capital market like we see in other regional countries?
To make the assets in which investors can invest money in available in the market. Because if products are there, we will have more investors and more vibrant.
Mosime Calvel, maybe. How far with the integration of capital markets in East Africa, and how will this benefit Rwanda's growing stock market?
How far have we gone? We have basically one regional capital market in East Africa, and here the intention was to create a regional market whereby from the international market it will be viewed as one investment destination one. The next thing now is to actually harmonize our legal and regulatory environment. How is Rwanda going to benefit from this? Actually, once we ultimately achieve this, part of the liquidity that and activity we were waiting for to see the markets moving fast is going to be contributed by the East African markets integration. So we will be able to reduce the period within which we can mobilize long-term capital domestically by simply belonging to an integrated East African market. And that's how Rwanda is going to benefit from this.
Thank you very much. That does it for the questions today. But I just want to ask someone there, did you know that Mr. Robert Matthew was part of all the East African capital market authorities when they were growing, and he's now part of Rwanda? What makes an exciting stock market? What are some of the components?
Extremely good performance in share prices.
Okay.
We talk about public education, but the best public education is when Muturaje makes a spectacular return on investment within a very short time in the capital market. And that is enough for that particular beneficiary to actually spread the word of the capital market.
Thank you very much for your time.
Most welcome.
And thank you so much for your questions. Now, with key strategies on decentralizing the health system and also developing the primary health care, next week, we sit with the Minister of Health, Dr. Agnes Binagwaho, on the Big Q, and she will be trying to digest what the Ministry of Health has done to improve Rwanda's health sector. So send in your questions on our Twitter handle at RTV English or on Facebook at RTV English still, and she will answer your questions next week. And be well and be blessed.